Hello, Scruff-tards. Welcome back to the Warzone. I'm Scruffy, and this is going to be another quick one because it appears as if the Canadians are considering replacing their F-35s with, potentially the Gripen fighter jet, the Swedish fighter jet that came in second place when they were holding trials for buying new fighter jets. And since they are having issues with the current American president, it appears as if the Canadians are actually considering maybe ditching the F-35, looking for other fighter jets. And Gripen came in second during the trials, as I understand it. And it seems to be a trend. The Portuguese are openly questioning if they should have F-35s. The Germans are reconsidering the F-35 as well. Maybe they will be looking at European options. So I mean, it seems to be an ongoing trend with countries around the air forces around the world currently thinking about no longer flying the F-35 and maybe taking a look at, Gripen, as it were, instead. That might actually increase the chances of Gripen ending up in Ukraine, because if Saab can get flight hours for the Gripen in a combat zone, in a war zone, and we get some actual combat data from the aircraft, it may help to sell the aircraft if we can see how it performs against incoming missiles, how its weapon systems can lock on and hit targets and what have you. So we'll see what happens, but interesting. We know that Gripen has some issues since it has an American engine, and so the Americans can veto who gets to buy it and stuff like that. So I think we will see a future European engine in the Gripen, would be my suspicion, to overcome that obstacle, which would allow Sweden and Europe to sell these aircraft more freely to people, to anyone who wants to buy them. So, I mean, clearly in the American military-industrial complex, they are probably not all too fond of what's going on in the world at the moment. If the Europeans the European market is a big market for the American weapons. And right now, it does appear as if Europe, and Canada included, might actually look for options that does not have "Made in America" stamped on it. So we're probably going to see a rise, an uptick in Swedish and French fighter jets being purchased across Europe, potentially Canada and elsewhere, that normally flies American aircraft. Wouldn't surprise me if we'll see similar things with American hardware across the board. Europe produces the best tanks and combat vehicles, for instance. Sweden, I mean, we have the 84, the Carl Gustaf, the NLAW. The Americans can't really, they have the Javelin, but it's kind of like the NLAW, but still isn't. So, I mean, Sweden has kind of cornered that market when it comes to infantry carried heavy firepower. So I don't think the Americans can dislodge Sweden and Europe in that regard. But sidetracked. Interesting, really interesting. We're have to wait and see where it all ends up. But it does appear as if the Canadians, they don't want the F-35. They want maybe Gripen instead. Bye.